students, today we are going to discuss about a new topic which is satellite communication system. It is a vast syllabus, so we cannot cover everything in one video. So there will be different videos. In that video we will be discussing all of the topics. Today we would be covering the basic concept of satellite communication system. Before going into the topic, we must discuss what is satellite. Satellite is a smaller object which can revolve around a much bigger object. So, in this case, satellite takes a path which is fixed or well defined. So, dear students, what is a satellite? Satellite is a smaller object which can revolve around a much bigger object. There are different kinds of satellites. One is natural satellite, the other one is artificial satellite. So, can you say what is a natural satellite? So, for example, we know that Earth revolves around Sun, and here Earth is a smaller object compared to the Sun. So, the Earth can rotate around a much bigger object which is Sun. So, here Earth acts as the natural satellite of Sun. Similarly, we know that Moon revolves around Earth, where Moon is the natural satellite of Earth. The second one is artificial satellite. This is also known as man-made satellite, where people develop or design different kinds of satellite and it is launched into the space for different applications such as navigation purposes, weather forecasting, or for telecommunication purposes. So, some of the examples of artificial satellites are Intelsat, GSat, InSat, etc. So now, before going deeper into satellite communication system, we should understand what are the basic elements of satellite communication system. So, the basic elements of satellite communication system are earth station, satellite, terrestrial network, and then users. Here, in this communication system, earth station plays a role in transmitting and receiving signals from user and obviously we have satellite in satellite communication system. So, which is responsible for receiving and retransmitting information to the earth station. Then we have a terrestrial network. Which is responsible for routing the information from the user to the satellite through the earth station. Then we have users, which means we are the ones. We generate different types of signals and that can be transmitted to the earth station through this terrestrial network, and then earth station transmit the information to the satellite where some of the processing are happening and then it is retransmitted to the receiving earth station. So, as discussed earlier, the basic satellite communication system consists of user, earth station, satellite, and we have receiving earth stations. So, here we are the users. What we do when we turn on any kind of electronic devices, the signals are generated. The signals which are generated by users are known as discussed earlier. So, the basic satellite communication system consists of user, earth station, satellite. So, and also we have terrestrial network. So, what happens when we turn on any device or a mobile? A signal is generated from the user side and it is traveled to the earth station through the terrestrial network. In the earth station, some kinds of processing are happening to the message signal and it is transmitted to the satellite via uplink, frequency, and again the satellite which is in space process the information and retransmitted to the receiving station via downlink frequency. So, uplink frequency is the frequency at which the transmitter is the station and the satellite. So, as mentioned earlier, in the satellite communication system contains earth station, user, satellite, right, along with terrestrial network. So, when we turn on when users turn on any kind of devices, a signal is generated which is transmitted through the terrestrial network to the earth station, where some kind of processing is happening to the message signal, and again is amplified and transmitted to the satellite via an uplink frequency. This is the frequency at which the satellite, uplink frequency is the frequency at which satellite and the transmitting earth station communicate. Similarly, in the satellite, some kind of amplifications are happening. So, as mentioned earlier, basic satellite communication system consists of different elements such as user, earth station, satellite, and terrestrial network. So, the user, when we turn on different kind of devices, a signal is generated which is transmitted through the terrestrial network to the earth station. In the earth station, the information is processed and transmitted to the satellite. The frequency at which the signals are transmitted to the satellite is known as uplink frequency. So, at the satellite, the signal, because here the signals are traveled for several kilometers to reach the satellite. So, there will be some information loss. So, in order to amplify the signal, we have different kinds of equipment at the satellite where those information are processed, again retransmitted to the receiving earth station via a downlink frequency range. So, downlink frequency is the frequency at which the satellite and the receiving earth station communicate. So, from receiving earth station, signals are again processed and sent to the user through the terrestrial network. As I mentioned earlier, the messages at the transmitting earth station are processed before sending it to the satellite. What are the processes that are happening on these messages? As I mentioned earlier, the messages from the user is processed at the earth station, transmitted earth station, before it transmits to the satellite. So, what are the processes which is going to perform on the messages? So, firstly, the messages which is produced by the user is analog in nature, which has to be converted to a digital signal. So, here we have used an encoder to convert the analog signals into digital signals. Then we are changing or modulating some of the characteristics of this message signal, such as frequency, phase, or amplitude. Then we have an converter which converts the frequency of the message signal into uplink frequency, which is normally for communication purposes we use 6 gigahertz frequency. Normally the messages which are sent by the user is in gigahertz range, that has to be up converted to gigahertz range. Here in up converter, we are converting the frequency of the message signal into a gigahertz range. Then we have an amplifier because the signal has to be transmitted or traveled to satellite for a long distance. So the messages have to be amplified. Here we have an amplifier to amplify the message signal and then we transmit to the satellite. Okay, these are the processes which are happening in the transmitting earth station. Now, similarly, in the receiving earth station, the opposite of what happens in the transmitting earth station is happening. Here we have a decoder which decode the messages which are retransmitted from the satellite, and then we decode the message signals, and we have a downlink and down converter here to convert the gigahertz frequency into megahertz, and then we have an amplifier which amplifies the signal before it is sent to the user. So these are the basic elements which are present in the receiving or reception. So in this video we have gone through the basic concept of satellite communication system, and later the remaining sessions will be continued in the upcoming videos.